everybody. Welcome back to Stitch in Heaven and Learning Corner with Norma. We're going to have some fun today because we are going to talk about strip piecing. And I love strip sets. I think that they go so fast and so cool, and you don't even have to have a pattern for a strip set. You just got to do it. So we're going to have some fun with the strip sets. So remember when we made our 4-patch earlier in the day, back when? So we're going to do a 4-patch again, but we're going to do it with a strip set and make it super easy. So we have 2 pieces of fabric, and these are actually the full width of a fabric, selvage to selvage, and I have them folded in half. And so I'm going to tell you what's a little bit easier with a strip set sometimes is just make it smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half so that they're a smaller strip set for us, so we have a little bit more control. So we had yellow and blue, and these are 3.5 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Soline glue pen. Remember that? So I know you all went out and bought one, right? So we're going to take this and run it along just like that. Let me get it closer so you can see a bit better. So we're going to run it along just like that. Run the glue along here, along that piece of fabric. And then we're going to put right sides together. And all we're going to do is do a little pushing right there, right? And we're just going to push it down. So do you notice that I'm not pulling the fabric or stretching the fabric, and I'm not using pins? I'm going to give you a real good tip. When you're doing your next border, try this, because you know how you have wonky borders all the time? I'm a true believer if I can get you to use the glue stick and put your border on this way, you will have great success. So let's try that next time. All right, so I'm going to go sew this. I've got it glued. It's not going to move on me, and I know that I'm sewing right along here. So what I'm going to do is I have my beginner scrap piece, right? And I have my little purple thing. I'm going to stick it under the feed dogs, and I'm going to remember that I'm at a 1/4 inch less a couple of stitches. So actually down here when I'm looking at that 1/4 inch, I'm looking down here because by the time I get here it's too late, right? So I'm looking down here just to reminders of what we did last time, and it's feeding in super nice. And guess what? It's all flush. It's all right together because there's no wiggle wobble because we glued it. All right, so the glue kind of came off there, so I'm going to adjust it back a little bit. Now when I get to the end, what am I going to do? I'm going to take my end scrap and I'm going to put it underneath there. Ta-da! And now we'll be ready to go for next time. So what did I do with my scissors? There they are. All right, we're going to cut that off. And we're going to cut our beginner piece, which now becomes our end piece, and put it over there. All right, so we are ready to press this, right? So you're going to get some review from some of my other sessions. So we're going to press this. So we're going to set the seam real quick. Give it some heat. All right, and then we're going to press and finger press it towards the dark. We're going to take our Acorn Precision starch pen and put it right inside there. Make sure it's pressed to the dark. We're going to do our lifting technique. We're going to use my talking iron and use our lifting technique. And put pressure, the good P, and heat. All right. So ta-da! When we get that done, we have a nice strip set that's 3.5 inches. Okay. So now we need to, I'm going to introduce a new term to you, subcutting. This is called subcutting when you take a strip set and you cut it again. So now we're going to cut 3.5 inches. So I want to show you, here's my ruler, and I told you to mark your ruler, and sometimes that will help you. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my 3.5 inch spot. Jump right closer to the camera, which is right here on my ruler. Here's my 1, here's my 3.5. So I'm going to take my scissors. That way I will always remember that I am cutting these strips 3 1/2. If I can get it to start on the 3 1/2 where I want it. There we go. All right, stay there, little buddy. There we go. Well, it wiggled a little bit. Let me pick it up and move it again right there. All right, that's closer. I want to give me that marking. All right, so these are Reuben Glow Line Adhesive. And they flip off and on, so you'll see them a lot on my rulers. Just remind me where I'm cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do the 2 cutting method, the 2 ruler method. Remember we did that before. I'm going to cut this selvage off over here. So I'm going to do that first, and I've got a smaller ruler that I'm just going to use to hold it. And I'm going to cut that off, and now I'm going to subcut 3 1/2 inches. So I'm going to take my second ruler and put it at 3 1/2 and bump this ruler up to it. And you can use a longer ruler or this one. And so now I know I'm at 3 1/2 because I'll put it out here so you can see it a little bit better. All right, so there's my 3 1/2 right there, and here's my second ruler, and here's my first ruler that's doing my measurement. And remember, our rulers are much more accurate than our cutting mats. All right, so we got 3 1/2. We make that cut. There is what we made last time with our 4 patch, but we did it much faster. All right, we're going to do that again. And we're going to subcut this down. Move my stuff over out of the way, and we're just going to keep cutting it. Now, I moved it. You can leave it on your cutting mat until you get all your subcuts made. And it doesn't even bother me that I moved it because I got it lined up on the mat here, and I've got it lined up on the ruler there. So I know that I can really adjust it back really fast. All right. I get one more wiggle out of it. Okay. There you go. Ta-da! See how fast it was to make that 4 patch? And you can make, I think out of 1 strip, you get like 6. So you get a lot. So there's your 4 patch made with a strip set and doing subcutting. So let's keep going. Let's talk about more because we can do more with strip sets. Let's do 3. All right. So I already pre-sewed these to save time. So here is a set of 3 strip sets, and they're 2 1/2 inches. And what I did, you'll see that I'm only using 2 colors. I got 2 colors, top and bottom, and then the bold purple in the middle. And then on my other strip set, I did the bold purple at the top and the bottom. And then I did my gray off-white in the middle. So I alternated them. So now after I do that, all I need to do is I need to cut them. So I'm going to cut them real quick into 2 1/2. And I have this ruler already marked with my 2 1/2. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one as my second ruler. Probably should have pressed that. It's a little wonky. But I'm just going to show you how you can cut that. And then we're going to cut 2 1/2. I got to turn it the right way. Do you ever turn your rulers the wrong way and go, oh my goodness, that's not 2 1/2. So, and then we're going to move that ruler and cut a 2 1/2. And I'm going to cut 2 of these guys to show you what's called the 9 patch. And this is really cool. And I'm going to show you a different variation about this one. Okay, so we're just going to cut 1 piece off. Let's turn this one this way and we'll cut 1 piece off that one. And you see how it's a little bit harder to use your strip sets when you got it longer. So that's why I cut them in half sometimes. All right, so we have this one and we have this one. And all we did was 2 fabrics and we did a strip set with 2 1/2 inches each. Okay. And ta-da, we're going to put that in the middle. Look at that. There you go. You got a 9 patch. So I want to show you, this is one that I have all sewn together. So that is a super duper way to do a 9 patch. Now, if you want to do something really fun, I'm going to show you a fun one. That's with your scrap fabric. Here's my scrap fabric that I got from the house. You can take your stash and just throw a whole bunch of strip sets together. And because these 2 are together, I'm going to put that at the top and the bottom because you see those middle pieces were the same. But look at that. And it's just all scrap fabric. Look how fast you can make that. All right, so while we're talking about the 9 patch, I want to talk to you about the disappearing 9 patch, which is really cool and fun to make. So what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to cut it in half and cut it in half again. It's just another block that you can make for fun. So I know for a fact that this block is 6 1/2. So what is half of 6 1/2? 3 1/4, right? So I'm going to go about to 3 1/4 in this way from this side. I'm going to line it up on my grid here. And I'm going to go to 3 1/4, right? There's 3 1/4, and I am at the halfway mark. And I'm going to cut this baby in half. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to cut 3 1/4. All right, there's 3 1/4 that way. This is called the disappearing 9 patch. So I can take this and I can put it like that. And I can make it disappear, but I used, again, my 3 strip method and made this 9 patch. Or I can flip it out and make it go out like that and have these go all the way around outside and do another block. Look how fun that is. So that's just fun to play with, and that's the 9 patch. Okay, you want to get really crazy? I'm kind of dressed kind of crazy today, so let's get really crazy. So let's do this one. Let's do the 16 patch. Let's keep going. This one is 4 2.5 inch. Look at that. So I'm not going to cut them down. Is that good? Did you get it? Okay, now we're going to go into putting 4 of them together. 1, 2. I'm going to mix them up. 1, 2, 3, and let's do that one over here. 4. And that is called the 16 patch. You want to know how fun that is? This is how fun that is. This is my quilt I made out of my 16 patch. Look how cool that is. Good? All right, so that's what you can do with a 16 patch. You can just keep going. So I encourage you to keep using strip sets, get creative, have fun with it, and go enjoy strip set piecing. And I will see you next time. And we're already talking about strip sets, so next time we're going to talk about the strip tube ruler and all the fun you can do with that. So I'll see you guys later.